quad track. It's another Zerion 3000, which is about the same price as the big one. And then that. So, no, nothing there that we need. Let's head back to the yard and get this refilled. Oh, and after all the recent patches to Railroader, I've decided to play that for a bit. So improved sound, improved graphics, although some of the graphic content has been reduced because yeah, as they've improved the graphical detail, they've had to reduce the amount of trees they've got and stuff like that. So, just to keep the game running at the same FPS as it had been. They've added more to the maintenance, so you now have to oil the axles of the cars that arrive to be delivered to customers and other things like that. And if you don't, you can get increased damage. Damage has always been a thing, but it was only a thing if you crashed or connected cars together faster than 5 miles an hour. It would cause some damage. If the train went too fast, you could derail it, which would cause lots of damage and cause the train to stop. But now you've got continuous wear and tear, such that you're strongly encouraged to park your trains in the engine depot at the end of the day, so that the engine depot crews can, keep them in tip-top condition. So that's a thing. And passengers won't be happy travelling on cars that are in poor condition. If you let your oil levels get too low, you end up with a situation called a hot box, which is where the axles catch on fire, and you end up with lots and lots of damage. And every car that gets delivered to the interchange has a random level of lubrication on the axles, so it's always a good idea before you, at the start of the day, to just run down and lubricate every single arriving car. Once they're lubricated, you can run them out to the customer delivery point and drop them off. The customer will either load stuff or empty stuff from the cars and then pick it up and take it back. That's, the lubrication when they arrive is more than sufficient to travel the length of the line and back again without further untoward stuff happening. So you should never have to maintain a rail cars that aren't yours unless you don't lubricate them and end up with the axles catching fire, at which point, you probably will need to put them in the shed to fix. But still a fun game. And really the only reason I've had to, that I've been able to play it this week is because Teenage Os has been out of town. Mrs. Osa said, you know, when she's here, I don't have to feel obligated to watch TV every night. I said, the problem is my back can end up very sore after sitting in the office all day. And it's just, I need to get up and sit somewhere else to alleviate the pain. So she's like, yeah, I kind of understand that. Okay, now we're up at this end of the field. I think what I'm going to do is I'll cross the top and then start just up and down rows along the edge of the road. So that at least until the tank's close to empty. Closer to empty. 17% just to get this far. Wow. Like I said, it's a big field. That's fine. Of course, I could have done this with a worker too, but not to worry. So this edge, I mean, it's not a straight line, but this will take me all the way down the length of the field. And what I'm trying to do here is to end up in a situation where I finish this end of the field and first. So as I'm working down the field, we end up me closer to the yard. I do all the furthest away points first. So I could turn around here and go back, but not going to matter. We'll just keep going up and down here. Certainly looks like most of the rest of this field is going to be quite a heavy draw on the fertilizer, unless I do what I'm doing at the moment and only use half of the boom to spray with. That just means I have to go up and down more frequently. Okay. I actually managed to drink all the tea before it went cold, which is a bit of a change for me. Okay, looks like this narrowing point here, as we go back down to the other end of the field, west end to the end of the field, that'll close this end off. So I can just do all of the other end of the field, or at least as much of it as I can while the tank survives. I know in the past I've used tanker trucks to transport liquid fertilizer so that I could take the tanker out to the field along with the sprayer, and I don't have to drive the sprayer back to the yard, although it's not that far away. It's not like, well, there's one of Oxygen David map where the farm was in the top left side of the map, Chellington maybe, and then I owned many of the fields along the southern edge of the map, which, okay, fine, but when it came to harvesting and fertilizing and pretty much any job actually, I needed a fuel truck to refuel the tractor that was cultivating, or the tractor that was seeding, or the harvester even. I just didn't have enough fuel in a harvester to harvest every single field in one go. And then I needed to take seed with me and solid fertilizer with me and liquid fertilizer. I had about 3 trucks just to get one job, get all of the fields planted. Because the fields just more than I could, needed more seed than I could carry in the seeder. Kind of like we've done here. I mean, I think this field took 2 loads of seed. But we've got the little truck with the pallets of seed on the back. We can just load the seeder up in the middle of the field. Okay. We are down to 60% fertilizer. And this end of the field is now closed off from the other end, if you like. I would be driving over bits that don't need any more fertilizer, so we'll just run up and down here, get all of this done, and then it'll just be okay. So missing bits again. And I know I did miss another bit up here somewhere. Still not enough liberties, too many liberties with the working width on this. Okay, that's better. So we're just coming into view on the right side. There's a strip of red there where I didn't manage to fertilize. What I might do, this is not the greatest angle. I think 315 is about a good angle. 15 is 45. Yeah, this is about 45 degrees off due west. So the opposite of 315 is 2. $125. Oh, and we're going way too fast. So if I turn around on a 125, $135. So round about there, if if I keep that straight line, and we'll just run straight towards that tree down there. We might miss a couple of bits to the left. I'll come back up the field, fill those in, plus the bits I missed. Close enough. So yeah, we're going to miss a bit here. We're going to end up going straight into the bit we already did. But I'm getting a straight line that I can then compass on and just drive straight and not worry about too many things. And then from here on across the field, I just have to hold that line. So hopefully that should get that bit we missed to the left. And it does look like the field then curves away to the left, so we'll just keep going here. Is looking, I don't know, I think there is a tiny bit on the right that we will end up hitting round about now-ish. Watch for the nozzles to turn, yes, so that tiny bit there. Okay, I can turn that off. We'll swing it about, and I'm just going to do the bits I missed over here, and then I can set up again at the top of the field and go straight again. Alrighty. There's also a tiny bit I missed by the road, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. And that is done. There's a small chance here that I might actually be missing some of these, and that the map, what's the word for it? What is the word for it? It's not density. It's not really accuracy. Whatever it is I'm trying to think of. It's basically high density, low density. I can't remember the word. There's a word for it. Okay, back to, what's it, 135 again? Five and a half. That's good enough. What is the word I'm thinking of? There is a word I'm thinking of and I can't remember what it is, but yes. the number of pixels on the screen. It's not, it's not fine enough on that little map to show every single red dot. Is what I'm trying to say. Which is why when I drive over a bit of the field, the spray nozzles might turn on suddenly, and it doesn't look like I need to be there on the mini map, but anyway, so what else do we have going on? Oh, so this week I've had a rake of 6 passenger cars on order since last year, and the manufacturer basically said we're going to be doing a set of 6 in 6 different liveries, and we're going to deliver them as 3 of the liveries first, supposedly November last year, and then the other 3 in February of this year. They ended up not delivering the first set until February this year. And they've just put out a note on their news site that says the second batch are being shipped now and should be with us in a couple of weeks, which means maybe end of August, beginning of September 2015. I should be getting a rake of 6 passenger cars. They also said that they're working on a similar set of corridor. The ones I'm getting are commuter compartment coaches. So there are no toilets, there's no facilities, it's just... They were originally designed back in the 1910s for London suburban traffic, so people wanting to travel into London and out. So you want to pack, for those trains, you want to pack as many people as you can get onto the train, and you're not too worried about providing facilities on the train. Now, obviously, if you're going significantly longer distances, you tend to have a corridor down the side of each passenger car, which provides access to toilets and other amenities, potentially buffets. Now, since these cars were designed for use around London, there's no buffet facilities, but they did produce corridor versions as well as just compartment with 4 or 5 seats on each side, depending whether you're travelling in first class or not. So they're now looking at modelling the corridor versions as well. So I'm guessing possibly in another year and a half we might see a corridor version, so I might get another 6 in 2 years from now when they actually get the model right. But at the moment they're struggling apparently to make it look right. How's the tank doing? Are we down to 960? Ooh. Well, we'll see how far we get, I guess. But now that I've got this straight line, I can just go up and down 135, 215, 315. So yeah, there's that. There's a bunch of very small freight cars that are due, I think, September, October and then there's a small locomotive that's due in January, February, March sort of time. So I don't have an awful lot of rolling stock on order for a change, which does mean I'll be able to start looking at what's it? Track signals, electrics, all the things. Because I really am. I'm getting almost to the stage where I need to start putting track down. Ooh, rain. And for that, the track switches need motors. I need cabling for. Okay, 8 o'clock's when the rain comes. I need cabling to run power to run everything. Track switches are expensive. They're about $25 each. But the size of layout I'm looking at, if I'm on one side of the layout, I don't really want to you have to stop everything just so I can get over to the other side to manually switch stuff. That usually ends up with crashes and things like that. So ideally I want track switches so I'll be able to do from a remote send a message down the cables to say please switch. I don't have to walk quite so far. 135 is what I want to be, so get a little bit close to that mark. I think maybe we'll go 130. We're almost finished with this section, so that will be this side of the field done. Magic. Okay, so now we've just got the bit down by the yard, or closest to the yard. This is awesome, and we might actually get this done on 2 tanks. And it wasn't even 2 full tanks because we did top it off, significantly topped off, but still we just topped it off rather than run it dry. Oh, there it is. Okay, turn that back on. And let's go 110. Not even 90. Okay, 100-ish.